Hello lords and ladies, Private Yogi here, back from the front. It's crazy out there. Gonna get a bit crazy in here too, because we're off back to Paladin for more Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Now right now we're helping Woljif sort his issues out with the family. We are family. Alright, so what bit are we on now? Stolen Moon. So we got to go speak to her best. Hope you're all doing well. See how far we can get with it this time, shall we? Fail to sneak past the enemies. That's fine.
Be careful, everyone.
Horse went down. That's okay. Also get up again.
This way.
Coming to talk to you, Erebus. You got some news for us? Actually, before we go in there, let's pop over here briefly and have a word with Joran. A grizzled dwarf turned the blade in his calloused hands, carefully inspecting its edge. When he sees you approaching, he sets the blade aside and greets you with a nod. A new face in the city. You picked a good time to come to Kenabres. As you can see, we're in sore need of warriors. Show me your wares. No. Do you know everyone in Kenabres by sight? Well, not everyone. But I make it my business to know the people who might need my services. A blacksmith's work isn't just to the anvil, you know. We got a few of your kind in the city. The smith shakes his head in annoyance. I'll be honest with you, you won't last long here. By hook or by crook. Tieflings are run out of this city, even if they be thrice blessed paladins. It's shameful. Are you Staunton Vane's brother? Yep, where he goes, I go. That's how we've always done it before the world wound. I forge the armour, he goes into battle and breaks it. He brings it back to me and I repair it and make it better than before. Everything's changed since then, of course, but that part has stayed the same. How was Staunton to blame for the fall of Dresden? He got Google eyes for someone he shouldn't, didn't he? We've all done that. I've told this story so many times already. Well, telling it one more won't kill me. The blacksmith sighs. Dresden was built after the First Crusade, back when it seemed the victory was ours for the taking, and the demon invasion would soon be at an end. The population of all Sarkoris was thoroughly diminished, and many of them hoped to see their hard fighting repaid with a small plot of unclaimed land. Dresden was a fortress built on all our hopes, and on Mendev's ambitions, though you're not supposed to say that out loud. What a city it was, Yorkie, you can't even imagine. It was built by the finest engineers from the Five Kings Mountains. Queen Galfrey spared no expense. Dresden was meant to be the capital of the Crusade movement, a monument to its own glory and a beacon of hope for all of Galarian. Heroes were drawn there to seek fame and glory, and they came from all over. Taldor, Garon, Tianziar. I couldn't list them all. You've got one from Tianziar here now, that big golden thing. A relic known as the Sword of Valor was kept there. The banner that had been carried into battle by Omede herself back when she was still human. That banner protected the city and kept the demons from teleporting inside its walls. As long as the banner was in its place, Dresden was invincible. Oh, so we thought. I guess that wasn't the case then, huh? But then the world wound suddenly expanded. The demons launched a new onslaught and folks started saying it was time to declare the Second Crusade. Dresden was unassailable. Until one young officer was tempted by a beautiful woman. She convinced him that the banners shouldn't be hanging in the city, that its rightful place was on the battlefield. She whispered honeyed words about glory and valour and convinced him that he could be a hero as great as Iomade herself. And the poor fellow believed her. He rounded up some of his hot-headed friends and carried the banner outside the city gates on an unauthorized foray. The demons slaughtered them within seconds, but for some reason the courageous ringleader was spared. A whole army teleported into the realm. It was a bloodbath. Jordan solemnly shakes his head. As you can guess, that officer was called Staunton Vane. And the woman turned out to be a demon. Not just any demon, it was Minago. Yeah, we kind of figured they've got a thing. That foul wretch. She's given us a lot of grief here in Kenabres too. Just don't ask me what I was doing while my brother was off having tryst with that beast, and why I didn't save him from his own stupidity. The blacksmith gestures as if to ward off the inevitable questions. Who could have guessed it when it would end like this? I failed my brother, that's the truth. I blame myself every day, looking at his plight. So that's the story. Go back here in case someone joins in. I can say hi to you. Hi! Let me just check something here. Okay, not something I need to worry about right now. Sorry, I had a message from my dear lady wife, but she's sending me a TikTok, so that can be waited till later. Alright, as you can guess, that officer was... Okay, we've got that. Why do you have your forge here in the tavern yard? Wherever I am, that's where my forge is. A true master of any craft will always find tools they need. I miss my old forge, of course. It is now just a pile of charred stones and metal. But I've still got my hand. That means I can work. You recognise his sword? I recognise it, of course I do. I made this with my own hands. There's my brand, see? The dwarf carefully takes the sword in his hand, gazing at it like a doting father. Oh, Yaniel, things have been tough without you. But at least we've still got your sword. That's something. Joran returns the sword to you. In battle, ordinary swords get blunted, they break. But sometimes a weapon can preserve. I don't know how to even explain it. I'm no authority on these things. But something like an echo of the deeds done with that weapon. Or more like the reflection of the wielder's soul. I don't know. I will say one thing. Take care of that sword. Yaniel may no longer be with us, but the demons will still remember why they need to turn tail and run when they see radiance. Och, the scabbard's all one. We can't be having a fine sword like this being carried around in this tatty thing. I'll make you a new one if you like. If the city stands strong, we can both survive. Come see me again, and I'll have it ready. I've got to go. We'll sell stuff inside, because I just realised there's stuff around that I've seen on previous runs, which I ain't picked up yet. Let's get that so we can sell it inside, shall we? We are. Right, Gemil. Who are you anyway? The albino slowly takes measure with his red eyes and finally, with a gentle sigh, says, Gemil Hawks, vampire. You really a vampire? Gemil gives you a long look of reproach, then grudgingly answers, no. How did you end up in Crusader City? How did anyone end up here? How did you, or them, with a few times the tavern keeper gestured to the ragtag group assembled in the room. The world is big, but still there isn't a place for everyone. People who no longer have a life anywhere else end up here. Any news in the city? The albino looks around. There are demons everywhere and you showed up. I see you're not one for talking. Gimel gives you a long mournful look and says nothing. Of course he does, because he's not one for talking. Bulk sell. Right. Kenabres. Next up. Kenabres rubs her red and tired eyes. Any success? How is the city? There's a traitor I'm trying to track down. Who is your informant among the Tieflings? Kenabres arches her eyebrows in surprise. Kenabres is threatened by a demon horde. and you have enough spare time to help out thieves, Kenabres sighed. I don't like this, but I hope you know what you're doing. I'll tell you everything I know. I did not see my informant's face. He slipped out of a dark alley, handed me a note, disappeared. Kenabres hesitates as she tries to remember. He had a cloak with a hood masking his face, but the long horns, didn't fit under it. There should be a guardian golem in Ancestries. I keep wanting to call it Ancestries. Bugger it, I'm calling it Ancestries. I'm renaming it. And wonders. The shop they tried to rob. They only gave us a construct code word just in case. The golem itself was destroyed, but the head seems to be intact. Well, we all like a little head now and then. So you can interrogate the thing. I mean, like a golem's head, you know. And find out what it saw. The code word is handed with Rory. The shop owner must have escaped, but there's a chance she'll get lucky with a golem. Erebeth! I was joking when I said it, you know, playing on head, but you've invited us to take your wife to the rear. You told us to get lucky with a golem. Erebeth! Do you and Evie need to go somewhere for some private time? What is our main objective? Yep, we've heard that. These waterstones, whatever, you've told us that. Allow me to ask a few personal questions. Where are you from? I was born in Kenabres. I grew up on a farm just outside it, but my way back home lay at the end of a long, winding road. The road is long, many a winding turn. It took me years of travelling through foreign lands before I came to be where I've always belonged. How did you become a paladin? A bitter smile appears on the half-orc face. I don't much like to remember it. Believe it or not, the story of how I became a paladin is the story of how I failed to become a knight. My parents were crusaders, may their souls stand together, and I am a celestial army. When I was born, they retired from the war and started preparing me to continue their legacy. My father was an orc. You'd be pressed to find a calmer, wiser, more pious servant of the goddess than he, but still, all his life he was dogged by sideways looks and whispers. When I grew older, and it was time for me to serve, I decided anyway but Kenabres. That was where my father had served loyally, and his only reward had been injustice. Besides, the witch hunters led by the Honourable Prelate Huldrun stalked the city with a heavy hand. Usually a stalk on your feet, but okay. Who knows what they'd have done to a strange girl with green skin. Instead, I went to a smirk that looks more like a painful grimace crosses the face. You can laugh if you want, but I was young and foolish. I chose Last Wall of all places. Can you imagine how well I was accepted in a country that's been battling the orcs of Belgium since its foundation? Probably not too good. There were many there like me, but we were all treated as second-class citizens. Hey, I know the feeling. Fun, isn't it? To the locals, my green skin was worse than leper scabs. Even my brothers in faith kept their distance. I took my vows, and the goddess granted me the powers of a paladin, but even then not a single order would accept me into their ranks. I spent another 6 months knocking on doors before I realised a simple truth. I serve Iomade, not these people. I don't have to prostrate myself before them. So I left as a paladin, but not a knight. I'm sure you can imagine what it's like. In most places, Tieflings are despised even more than half-orcs. I've told you that. How did you come to join the Knightly Order then in the end? I left Last Wall and went travelling. The goddess guided me and my path led me to where atrocities were happening. I often fought in exchange for gold, but never for unworthy aims, of course. Oh, of course not, that's what we all tell us. I wandered the River Kingdoms for a few years, killing monsters and tracking down criminals. Sometimes I thought I was just wasting my time, that my true place was in Kenabres, but I pushed all thoughts away. I didn't even want to think about going back, but in the end, divine providence had brought me to my senses. It happened in Timon. I was tracking a gang of bandits, which my employer suspected was a cover for Asmir and spies. I managed to find their lair, but inside I found something far more dangerous than spies. An unholy temple to Sun Cathon. When I broke in there, the cultists were about to sacrifice someone. The person who was destined to become my wife, Anivia. That's another story. After I cut down the cultists, I examined their papers and couldn't believe my eyes. A network of evil cults had spread throughout all of Avistan, including Mendev. Worse, the documents clearly showed that their allies, the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth, had infested my native Kenabres. and were even among the ranks of the Paladins. After that, delaying my homecoming would be tantamount to desertion. Luckily, I was no longer alone. Anivia was as eager to destroy the cultists as I was. Anivia and I hurried to Kenabres. We couldn't trust anyone. The papers indicated that the cultists had infiltrated everything. Luckily, I had some experience in investigation, and my beloved, the half-orc, smiled warmly. She knew her way around the locks, tailing people and trading information with the city's bottom feeders. Soon we'd defeated, alas, not the whole Hydra, but a few of its heads. Do you know who turned out to be the leader of the cultists? The commander of the Eagle Watch. Can you imagine, while Prelate Huldron was chasing witches throughout the city, the enemy had infiltrated the very order responsible for internal security. The scandal reached the ears of the Queen. At first she planned to disband the order in disgrace, but then she offered its command to me and put its salvation in my hands. Also was one small catch, I was on tonight, but I was made commander just the same, skipping the usual progression through the ranks. I can't imagine to follow the Zunkothon in alliance with demon worshippers. Shouldn't they hate each other? They should, but Baphomet's minions are masters of deception. They manipulate Zunkothon's butchers as eagerly as Iomede's knights. The cultists from that unholy temple didn't know the true face of their associates in Kenabres. We ourselves learned the truth much later, after getting to the bottom of their nest. How did the people of Kenabres feel about your background? They told us it tolerated it surprisingly well. I shouldn't have been so wary. Crusaders don't tend to be prejudiced as a rule. After all, heroes from all over the world, even other continents, come here to fight the demons. Apparently, the people were only suspicious of full-blooded orcs and tieflings. There were already many like me here, and we don't have any problems. Though the locals do have their superstitions, and Dev is as merciless as last wolf, they just have a different set of victims. I kept seeing those same sideways looks and scowls, hearing familiar whispers. But where once they were used to whisper behind my back and point at me, now they whisper in my ear and point at someone else. It's so strange to be on the other side of the humiliation, to wipe the spit from your face and suddenly be invited to change position and spit at someone else. You must have figured out by now that I'm talking about tieflings. Yeah, pretty much. It's true that there are many of them among the cultists, and few among our crusaders. And our fighters do all they can to drive away those who would be our allies. People shun them, call them a loose spawn or worse. But if they choose to be born like that, I believe it's quite a feat to rise against the call of one's blood and join the forces of good. Still, most only see them as the enemy. I once saw a knight bleeding to death because he wouldn't let a tiefling priest touch his wound. Alas, I haven't been able to change it in all my time in Kenabres. Perhaps you will. I hope your example will show us of your kind that they are needed here. Perhaps looking at you, even some of the cultists will see that birth does not consign you to a life in the service of evil. Tell me about Anivia. We met in Timon, as I was wandering aimlessly from one ordeal to another. We returned to Kenabres together to expose the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. The day the Queen knighted me was the second happiest day of my life. The first was the day of our wedding. But Anivia just isn't just my beloved. She is my staunchest ally. We share every victory and defeat. The best of me is alive thanks to her. Thank you for saving her back then the day Kenabres fell. For her return, the only thing giving me the strength to protect the defender's heart was the hope that I'd see her again. We're in your debt. No debt needed. It was fun. Thanks for your answers. Her best nods, without saying a word. Tell me about the Eagle Watch. It was a small order created to fight not only demons but also the enemy within. To maintain the purity of the Paladin ranks, prevent heresy and identify spies. And it failed miserably at that. The Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth infiltrated it and formed their nest within its ranks. After the Queen entrusted me with leading the order, Anivia and I practically... I'll give you these teeth back later, they're not working for me no more. Anivia and I practically built it from scratch. We got rid of dead weight, people who weren't committed. We organised ways to transmit messages and orders safely. We introduced reliable ciphers. We found tacit allies around the city, from crusader orders to street beggars. This was my personal crusade, to purge the city of the Templars who had infested it. And I thought I was winning. I could feel it. We're so close to driving the cultists out of Kenabres, but at the best rounds. Hard to admit, but those successes didn't count for much once the demons entered the city. On the contrary, if it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a headquarters to defend its heart. The cultists would have served up the city on a platter to the demon. The lines around her best forehead of Sovereign. Yes, that's true. It's a good thing we achieved something. Thank you. Alright, I gotta go. Bye now. And we'll talk to other people next time we're here. Still want to get Irabeth's side of the story. Maybe talk to people around here. Wendy. Sealer. Milia. So there's still a lot of people to talk to, but let's go on with what we're doing right now.
Forwards? No, backwards, backwards!
Actually, what I want to do right now is just get some spellbook stuff set up. You've got level 1, large person, some healing. We don't have a dedicated healer right now, so that's fine. Level 2, full strength, or healing, just because we don't have a healer right now. Level 3, nothing. Regain bow for yourself. We don't really need that because I'm not going to be using it. Control. And then you've got that at this level. Yeah, no. The grease. That's fine. That's fine. So, ancient trees. Oh, now I'm calling it proper name. Because I renamed it, I'm now calling it the proper name. I don't know what to do with myself. Enter. Let's have a look inside. Another spell.
I found something.
Demon heart. Some scrolls have been torn apart, and some have been trodden on by muddy boots.
I can hear your footsteps. Free at last. I thought I'd be flattened like a pancake under that rubble. Much obliged. Damn, I'm not in any pain, but my head is so foggy for some reason. What's with all the hubbub in the city? The name's Finian. I'm a Pathfinder. If there's anything I can do to help, I will.
You're a Pathfinder?
That's right, Finian Dismar, Pathfinder and Crusader. I roam around the world wound wherever my tasks lead me. Scouting mostly, but this last while I've just been hanging around in Kenabres, waiting until I'm needed again. I'm bored out of my mind, but at least this shop makes for better lodging than some inn.
What I meant was, what are you?
What's that supposed to mean? I just told you. You want to know where I hail from, is that it?
Oh?
Well,
hey, what are you?
Around here, actually. We Kelets of the Star Eye clan fled when the World Wound troubles began. But I couldn't stand by while the demons wreaked havoc, so I came back. Or did you mean to ask about my weapon of choice? My best weapon is every weapon. I'm a skilled and capable fellow, if I do say so myself. I can swing a sword and poke with a spear, but what I am best at is communing with the spirits. They call folks like me Phantom Blades.
Phantom Blade, what's that?
It's like a spiritualist, but with a twist. It means that some spirit took a liking to me at some point, and it can turn into whatever weapon I need. Handy, eh? I don't need any whetstones or enchantments. Doesn't take up space either. Although, to be fair, it's not a barrel of laughs. The spirits that bestow this kind of power don't come from happy places, and they're not exactly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They usually appear after great battles that leave few survivors.
The city is under attack by the demons.
Wait, what? The last thing I saw was some thieves breaking in here. And then the guards came, everyone was running around. After that, it's a bit of a blur. Right when things got intense, they dropped the cabinet on me. I couldn't even help the owner. I was just lying under the shelves like a dimwit until you came along. If there are demons in Kenabres, we must do something about it.
Yeah, we are.
The city needs every blade it can get. Hey, do you mind taking me with you? I don't think I can handle this alone. And besides, the more the merrier.
How'd you end up in the shop?
I've been waiting here so long I don't even remember anymore. Just sitting and waiting for any word from the Pathfinders, but it looks like everyone has forgotten about me. The shop owner is an old friend of the Pathfinders, so I've taken up residence here.
Alright, I'll take you with me.
I swear you won't regret it. I can do all sorts of things. Is there anything your party is missing? A sword, a spear, a bow? Just say the word.
Here we can talk to him again. Hail to the adventurers! You know I've never regretted following you. Well, that's good, because you've only just picked you up. You're not very good with time, are you? Everyone seems to revolve around you like beavers in a mill wheel. I'll have a lot to write in my report to the Pathfinder Society. Although thinking about it, it's been a while since I've sent them any reports. I want to talk about you. Sure, go ahead, although I haven't really done anything noteworthy yet. Do you realise you're a weapon? What kind of question is that? I mean, sure, the clerics keep going on about how every crusader being a weapon if I am a day. I don't speak of myself in fancy words like that. I'm just a lad with 2 arms, 2 legs, and more freckles than I'd like. Finian, can I sit you down at no? Never mind. I choose where to go and whom to fight for. I don't want to be someone's weapon when you hear. Paladin is dead, now everybody decides their own fate. How did you become a Pathfinder? I've always wanted to be one, ever since I was a kid. I remember I'd go out to the edge of the village at sunset and then just keep walking until I got tired, or someone dragged me back by my ear. It was like something drawing me away from home. My clan wasn't the nomadic kind. While the wound opened, the idea of travelling anywhere wouldn't have crossed the minds of many of my clan. They were content with their community and their patch of land. But I had always wanted to see what lay beyond the bend in the road, over that familiar hill beyond the horizon. My father, he wanted to teach me to be a shaman like him. But as soon as I came of age, I was off looking for the Pathfinder Society. And I found it in Iz, after 3 weeks of travel on foot. I passed their trial and they accepted me. My father hasn't spoken to me since, but that's all right. Once he hears my great deeds, he'll come around. Someday. All I wanted was to rush off to some faraway land and find a treasure trove no one else had discovered yet. But I knew I had duty to Sarkoris. Then the wound opened. That's a long time ago. Oh, that's like 70 years ago. The demons, the havoc, in the end, I never went anywhere. But as soon as things calm down, I'm taking off to Explorer's Land. About that. Never mind. I've already decided great ancient ruins, that's my kind of life. Being surrounded by the wreckage here is depressing, as I'm sure you know. Do you remember anything before you ended up in Kenabres? There is uncertainty in Finian's voice. I mean, a lot of things happened. I remember how happy everyone was when the wardstone was placed in. I think we got to explain some stuff to him. That was some celebration. Finian is silent for a few moments, and I remember when the cultists took me, cut down my whole party and dragged me to their ringleader. Don't know his name, everyone just called him the Bladesmith, but after that my memory is all fuzzy. For some reason he didn't sacrifice me or anything, just stuck me around. Said he'd been looking for a phantom blade for a long time, I don't remember why. How I escaped, what I did, I can't remember that either. Some crusader picked me up in the wound, brought me to Kenabres, and that's where I stayed, licking my wounds. Maybe there was a mix-up and now they think I'm dead. Why else would none of them contact me this whole time? What's don't you say? Yeah, but Finian, what you describing happened decades ago. That's rich. Next you're going to tell me I've been sleeping for decades. Well, last year that was. No. But maybe the year before. No. I couldn't have been wandering around the world that long. I would have either been dead or an old geezer by now. Or a weapon. A weapon. Nah, quit messing with me. Finian, you need to understand you're not human anymore. Finian's voice sounds concerned. Are you feeling alright? Maybe you need to have a lie down. I'm standing right in front of you. No, I'm holding you in my arms. As humans they come, or do you think my travels have worn me down so much I've become an animal? Not happening. My folks taught me to stay human always, no matter the circumstances. About that. So remember who I am, and never shame anyone. Are you still able to commune with spirits? Maybe I can, only they don't want to answer me. I'm still a spiritualist, a phantom blade. My power is within me. But I have this feeling like I'm separated from the spirit world by some kind of transparent wall. I keep knocking, but no one can hear me, I think. Finian forced a chuckle. Guess all the bladesmith's torture did a number on me. He broke something inside. Yeah, there's something inside so wrong. Let's talk about something else. Tell me about the Pathfinder Society. Oh well, sometimes folks curse our names, calling us opportunists who just want to line our pockets. But that's only part of it. We're travellers, explorers, solvers of mysteries, and fighters of evil. I mean, good coin hasn't hurt anyone yet, but for folks like me, it's not what matters most. We're curious to see the world, play a part in everything, stick our nose everywhere. About your nose, no. Getting into our circle isn't easy. First, you must prove that you can endure any place that you're sent to, like inside a weapon. That you won't shy away or flee. Well, you're not going to flee or shy away. That's why you'll never catch a long line of applicants outside Society Lodge. Every lodge is a venture captain, and if they approve your application, you're in. There are many lodges all over the world, but the main one, the Grand Lodge, is located far away in Absalom. I've never been there myself, but I've heard a lot of stories about it. And about the decemvirate that governs all Pathfinder affairs from there. It's all for now, I should get going. I can't tell this poor lad. Or he can become like a weapon. That's just called iron. If we make you a rapier, you are gold iron goes to +1 finesse wielding. Yeah, that's a nice rapier. For now, you've got a piece of magic. You don't, but you can cast magic. And you don't. Let's get these copied. Formerly well-appointed shop now looks in a sorry state. It has been completely ransacked. Lying in the corner, next to the Scotch wall, are the soot-covered shards of a clay golem's head. The golem's eyes glow in the gloom. Master, codeword, hand me Rory. Codeword correct. The golem's eyes glow brighter, awaiting orders. Where did you come from? Who created you? This golem was created by Gaffrin and Son, address 3rd building on the right, Jeweller's Alley, Nerosian. Mendev. Model G. Oh, never mind. Tell me about any suspicious people who came to the shop in the last week. The golem is silent for a moment. 56 individuals entered the shop. Human, female, old. Gnome, male, old. Human, female. They'll be rattling off customers till nightfall. We need to ask in a different way. But were any of them female? Were any of them tieflings? The golem is silent for a while. Tieflings, 3. Tiefling male middle-aged, tiefling male young, tiefling female young. Tell me about the youngster. Tiefling male, medium height, short horns curling backwards. Medium length tail, eye colour yellow, hair colour black. Special observation, annoyed master. Horns, hair, tail, that sounds like me. It does, doesn't it? But it's not possible. I know what the security's like here. I didn't come near the place. I give you my word, Chief. Yeah, about that word. No special observations. The objective was unremarkable. There, see, can't have been me. Describe the middle-aged tiefling. Tiefling male, medium height, long horns, medium length tail. Eye colour pale blue, skin colour dark. Special observations, red hair. Oh, that's our traitor. I'd bet your life on it. Well, thank you. Charisma drilled it into our heads that we wasn't to go hanging about the shop. Red hair. We got a couple of gingers. And plenty more who get it out of a bottle. So much for special observations. Columns aren't all they're cracked up to be, eh? Cracked. Broken. Got it. Nice. Maybe its master knows a bit more. Describe the female tiefling. Tiefling female above average height. Hair long, pale. Tail not observed. Long horns. Eye colour blue. Special observation. Scar on nose. Baldric with gold stitching. I don't know about that one. New arrival most likely. Gold stitching, I wouldn't mind getting to know her a little better. The golem is silent, waiting for a new order. Where's your master? Falmouth Atros. My master is in his hiding place. Revealing the location of his hiding place is prohibited. Prohibited! Likely hold himself up in the basement when the commotion started. James should be around here somewhere. Where's the basement? The basement is below me. Leaving my port is prohibited. Well, yeah, but it's also impossible for you. I've got everything I need to know. But we'll free that in a minute. Let's just check out the rest of the shop.
Now what is that?
A gold ring. Only one though, not 5. Polished oak shells once showed magic rings and amulets. Now all the looks like rugby handprints. Polished oak shell. Okay, same again. Unique weapons and unique antique armor were previously displayed.
Punish me, for I failed.
Took a bit, but we got in. Bit of drink.
I am helpful, am I not?
Yeah, sure. There he is. The elderly gnome, so portly as to be nearly spherical, is curled up in the corner of the basement, shaking. Marauders, bandit scavengers! Yo, calm down, no one's gonna rob you. The gnome peers at you. You do look better dressed than the local thieves and ragamuffins. You came here to tell me the nightmare's over? No, it's not. You're here to steal my riches. Get back. The gnome nods at Woljif and his rounded face turns scarlet. You? Woljif, you dirty little sneak thief. You've been sniffing around my shop for years. Finally worked up the courage to rob me, did you? Get out of here, you and your pals. Taken everything already, I'm sure. The gnome seems a little, to settle slightly. My name's Falmouth Atros. I was the owner of this shop, but I'm not sure I can claim to be the owner of anything now. I hope there's at least something left of it. Oh, come off it, your shop's fine. It's a bit ransacked, maybe, but nothing a bit of spit and polish can't fix. Were you there the night of the robbery? Do you think I robbed my own shop? I was here in the basement. I was told to make it look as if I'd left. The watch was very keen to get their hands on those tieflings. They seemed to be multiplying all over Galarian. So of course I did everything they said. And I've been stuck in this basement since then. The golem wouldn't have moved from the door no matter how much I yelled at it. But then I thought that it was all to the good. Somebody came after the guards and called the ruckus upstairs, bellowing like mad, taking advantage of my absence. Tell me about the tieflings that have visited ancestries and wonders. Why should I tell you anything about my customers? Not from the City Guard or Eagle Watch. Gee, if he keeps digging his heels in, just say the word. I know how to lose this tongue. I'm helping the Eagle Watch catch culprits. It's in your interest to tell me everything. You like that? Well, they haven't got the Tieflings. I thought the city's finest were on the job and they'd the gnome side. You can't rely on anyone. Answer your questions then. Tell me about Woljif. Woljif Jeff though, right? Yeah, I've known him a long time. Though I'd rather not talk about him at all. He's been skulking around my shop for years, treating the place like a free museum. He always wanted to look at the moon of the abyss. I'd chase him out, but he'd just slink back in again. If he was with the gang that robbed my shop, I'll bet anything he swiped the moon. Oh, come on, the prime suspect. Probably was good reading, Woljif. Whoever betrayed us all, that's who got the moon. I want Teat returned too, you get me? I don't like the idea of people grubbing mitts on it. Tell me about the Tiefling woman. Wellman scratched his chin. A Tiefling woman? Ah, yes, I remember now. A noble lady, unlike these Tiefling ruffians we have round here. She purchased medical equipment for the crusade, and she promised to come again. If only all Tieflings were like that, I'd be laughing all the way to the bank. Tell me about the red-haired Tiefling. The red-haired Tiefling? I suppose, yes, there was one who came in. Spent a long time looking around. He was a person modest means. I could tell by his clothes. But he asked me to show him an Asimar-made chainmail. He certainly couldn't afford it. That's when I suspected that something was off. I checked everything after he left. Nothing was missing, and that put my mind at ease. I can't remember what he looked like. Didn't get a good look at his face. All I remember is that he wrapped in a green cloak like he was freezing, but that's all I have. That's it with that description. We'll surely sniff him out. Come on, Chief, back to Sister Charisme. We go to have a good long shifty at all my brothers and put the clues together. Something tells me our traitor isn't going to wriggle out of this one. Found out everything I wanted to know. If that isn't enough to help you catch the thieves, then I don't know what else to tell you. Now be on your way and leave me in peace with my wreck of a shop. Absolutely. It's a crap place you got here. You need to fix it up. To the Tieflings' hideout. Alright, Sister Charisme, here we are. Charisme drums her fingers nervously on the handle of her blade. Well, are you going to tell me who the traitor is? The name? Let's take a good look at the suspects. The Tieflings are tense and ready to reach for their weapons. The only redheads are Melrune and Doffy. The dark-skinned Tieflings are Vernier, Doffy and Melrune. Doffy, Melrune and Tavy have straight horns, but Tavy is female. Only Vernier and Melrune have green cloaks. Only Melrune matches everything. And that means it's him. You'll pay for this. Votil and Hepzimera will get you in the end. He's down. Grab him. Take him away for questioning. Charisme looks weary, but her earlier tension has clearly lifted. He confessed. Someone connected to the cult of Baphomet ordered him to steal the moon of the abyss, and the best idea he could come up with was to drag us into it. He got the scroll to take out the golem. He betrayed us to Erebeth so that he could swipe the amulet in the chaos. He thought we'd get nicked and he'd slink off to meet up with a customer. You got the moon of the abyss? Let me look at it one more time. My whole life I've dreamt of holding it in my hand. If only for a second. He said when he got to the window display the moon was gone. Is he lying, Woljif? He had time to hand the moon off to the person who ordered it, bloody cultist. I don't really give a toss. I'm just glad we got to the bottom of this. What are you going to do now? Clear out of this place. Sooner the better. The city's dying. I don't want to die with it. This city would have already died if not for people who stood up to defend it with weapons in their hands. Go defend it. I'm not stopping you. It's your city. But we've always been outsiders here. Why should we fight now? Can I joined the family. Charisma casts a praising look at you. You didn't do too badly. I'll tell my superiors about you. Charisma withdraws a ring from her pocket and hands it to you. Here, you're not our brother yet. But you've got potential, no doubt about it. Chief, you're going to buy my little brother. Of course, I'll be taking the biggest cut of everything you bring in for the first while, but that's just what old siblings do in the family. You'll get used to it. You get used to my boot will be a jacksie if you don't watch it. I knew you'd spell good things for me. We're going to be swimming in gold. What are you going to do with the traitor? Charisma nonchalant picks at the nails with a knife tip. He'll be sent to visit his distant relatives on a farm. Oh, that's nice. So think about what he did. Any more questions? I have to go. Good decision. I don't plan to hang around long either. Charisma turns sleeve. Sister, Woljif nervously bites his lip. His cheeks are flushed and his tail is swishing through the air. You forgot something. What now? You should be happy to be alive. An apology. You promised to apologise to me loudly in front of everyone. We're all alone now, but I still want to hear it. Well... that. Charisma shrugs indifferently. So... Sorry, I suppose, for being wrong about you this time. Don't think that just because you didn't act like a jerk this one time, it cancels out the rest of your record. I know all about you. Till next time, Woljif. Well, that was a shit apology. It's the most pathetic apology I've ever heard. Charisma's eyes harden. But then she sighs. Alright, fine. I'm sorry, Woljif. Let's part on good terms. And now apologise to me as well. When you falsely accuse my ally, you accuse me too. A flurry of emotions pass across Charisma's face. When she finally opens her mouth, her words trickle out slowly, like each one is a struggle. And I'm sorry to you too. And to make it up, here, she pulls a key from her pocket and tosses it to you. And now I'm leaving. Oh, we got the vault key. Nice. Woljif watched her go, his tail relaxing. You made some impression on her I've never seen Sister Charisma back down before. Listen, Chief, when you've got a spare minute, come see me. I've something I want to discuss with you. Does this concern a certain little moon amulet? Now let's get out of here. I don't like sitting below ground when the building above is ready to crash down on our heads. But first, let's pick up what we can here, shall we? Let's not be idiots and run off half-cocked.
What's that there?
That's a trap.
I hope you appreciate this.
Huh? What's that?
Secret door. And that's some gold and a pile of junk. Right, we've done that. Let's go back to the tavern and have a word with him and maybe someone else. In we go. Show me what you have. Bulk selling. Sell. Also, don't really need that. Maybe I'll give that to someone. Ring of Sharp Strike. Whenever the wearer of the ring shoots an enemy engaged in melee combat and hits, the enemy suffers a -1 penalty on attack rolls for 1 round. That'd be nice. I wonder if that's any ranged weapon. Probably. The Tiefling ring. +2 competence bonus on trickery and stealth skill checks. And +3 for the Tiefling, which we are. And that's a ruling charisma. Alright, so you You're working on charisma, aren't you? So you need that. Well, at least for now. That one for shooting things. You can have that. That one, Tiefling ring. That's me. Not you, me. That's better. We only just want to fall because she's no good. Alright, well, Woljif, there you are. Let's have a chat with you.
Psst, look, Chief, I got something to show you. Ta-da! A real beaut, isn't it?
So you did betray the Tieflings.
That cuts me deep, Chief. You and I saw who the traitor was. It's just that when we robbed the shop, I went in first and took what I wanted. Nothing wrong with that.
Sneaky.
Although, of course, I did think about hiding the moon and just taking myself off somewhere warm when all this blows over. But only because I want to see the world. Is it a crime to want to travel?
No, but
Is that what counts for treachery these days?
it depends how you do it, isn't it, Woljif? Did you really have the amulet this whole time?
Since that night, Chief, Melround didn't even set eyes on it. While he was dealing with the golem, I sneaked past them, and that was that.
Why is it so important?
Do you really not remember it? Oh, I thought you would appreciate it. It's from the old man Fileman, the owner of the Ancient Trees and Wonders shop. It's the pride of his collection. The Moon of the Abyss, an amulet with a rare crystal crafted by an unknown maker. When I think of how much this thing is worth, it makes my head spin.
You've been searched by the guards. How did you manage to hide the amulet?
Thieves have their ways.
Fair point. Why didn't you give the amulet to Charisma right away?
What? So she would slay me right away, you mean? You saw how antsy she was over Kenabres and all this.
Yeah.
So I did it. I took the Moon of the Abyss. But I didn't go to Erebeth. And Big Sister wouldn't hear my explanations. She doesn't have the time. I even thought I'd hide the moon somewhere, and then when all the noise had died down, I'd go get it and make a run for it. I'm sick of the Tieflings. And they never appreciated me anyway.
Why did you steal the moon? You wouldn't have been able to sell the item so rare anyway.
Why, he asks? It's expensive, pretty. And you know, it's my amulet, actually. Not meaning I stole it, but I mean, this is my inheritance. My grandma and I were poor. All we had was a jewelry box with the moon in it. She used to store it under the floor in the basement, and she'd take it out sometimes just to look at it. She was always nicer when she had a few drinks in her, so I could ask her things then. One time I asked where she got it from, and she said it was from a demon. You know, the demon who was my grandfather. He said the moon was to be passed down. My ma was good for nothing and nobody, so that's why Grandma decided to keep the amulet for me. She used to say it would be mine when I grew up. But she couldn't wait until I grew up. She squandered my inheritance when she became a drunk. Took it to Fileman's shop and pawned it. He gave her some coppers for it, and she didn't even haggle. Just grabbed them and ran back to the tavern before last orders. I've been going to Fileman's to look at the moon ever since I was a kid. He chased me away, but I just kept going back, so eventually he gave up. He didn't skimp on security. The place was like a fortress, so he wasn't worried about a street rat like me pinching anything. Even when I got more skilled, I couldn't get any closer to it. One day, I had no one to go with. Another day, there were only oafs who'd never stolen anything more than a church donation box. But when Charisme had planned everything out, I realized I had a chance to get the moon and move away from here. Maybe to Garand. I hear it's warmer there. I've stayed with the family for too long.
In everything for some shiny trinket.
This isn't just some shiny trinket. First, maybe some rich person's just dying to buy it. We need to put out some feelers and see if anyone's in the market. Second, maybe it'll come in handy. And besides, I spent so many years looking at it. I imagine things like, what if my grandfather left something else and my grandma spent that too? Maybe I could have had my own barony already if things had turned out differently. Or got some decent education in the capital. they're all just dreams, but the moon is right here. You've got to hold on to what's yours, Chief.
Alright, well, it's your business,
Allies,
not mine.
friends, it's all a load of crap. Life brings us together, forces us to make plans, do whatever it is we do, but it's a safe bet that this ain't forever. I might be a traitor, but the others, are they any better than me? Melround had a good reputation in the family. He was trusted, and you see what happened. If you abide by the law, anyone can rob you. So you need to break the law first when no one expects it, and run before you go soft and get too attached. Whatever you think, I owe you. I'm not just a thief. I have my own business selling things. Thanks to you, I'm still in the family. And we have the black market sewn up in this city. It's a good way to sell valuables.
Alright, well, you can travel with us for now.
So, if you need anything, a scroll or something, just say the word. I have a little portal to our people in Nerosian. You put a note there, and you get what you need. I can't get you anything big, but what they do have is all high quality. Nothing's too good for you, Chief. What's mine is yours. For a price, of course.
Right then. Let's talk to Camellia. Camellia looks you over pensively, toying with the snake-shaped bone amulet that dangled from her pale neck. Noticing your glance, she flashes you a cold, barely there smile. Greetings! It seems for a moment that she wants to say something else, but the pause grows too long and she slips back into cautious silence. Tell me about yourself. You want to know more about me than you already do? Why? Camellia arched your dainty brow. I talk to the spirits of this tormented land, and they guide me in battle. I'll help you fight the demons, and I swear that you can rely on me in this matter. Isn't that sufficient? Where did you learn to wield a rapier so well? I had good teachers. Although they don't get all the credit, I am a most diligent student. Camellia licks her parched lips. Your amulet is quite unusual. Where did you get it? Ah, my little trinket. It's so nice of you to notice. But I assure you, this amulet is nothing but a bauble. Can a lady not be drawn to beautiful, useless things? My wife's drawn to something useless. She married me. You're much more relaxed during combat. Your battle cries are uninhibited. She blushes slightly and lowers her eyes. So you've noticed. To be honest, I find it embarrassing. You see, being a shaman means having spirits of battle as my ever-present companions. In the heat of combat, they become rather vocal. Anyway, as much as I enjoy our delightful conversation, I thought you'd just like to party. As the spirits are calling me, and I must respond. Please excuse me. Camellia turned away, watching you out the corner of her eye. Speech tells me of noble birth. Camellia laughs, a practiced musical laugh. And she watches you from under lowered lashes. You're most insightful, a fine quality to have. Camelia's laughter ends, and unspoken words hang in the air. Forgive me if my questions disturb you. I couldn't resist such a noble and beautiful lady. I will stop bothering you immediately if talking to me upsets you. Not at all. Our conversation is an exquisite delight. Camellia affords you a brief, friendly smile in appreciation of your manners. Alright, we'll go then. We'll talk to others later. Let's head out for now. We're going to clear the bridge thing in the market that we were asked to clear, you know, because it's all broken up and stuff. And then, rather than finishing the market immediately, we're going to pop over to the Blackwing Library. It's near the Pitaxin wine cellar, but I don't want to do that right now. Oh, there's a fallen horse here. She's good up there. You're next. You two can go there. go like that. No, I'll tell you everything, just don't hit me. I never stole nothing. I only just joined the Tieflings. The Tiefling gestures back the way he came, as if that explains something. It was all them back there. They found an underground passage into the Grey Garrison, and they've been nicking stuff out of there ever since. Low down thieving Thorax, that's what they are. I had nothing to do with it, I swear. Brother Gort, is that you? Brother Woljif? I thought you'd pegged it in their best scale. Happy to see you too. Who are you? And on this guy who's fallen in with some bad folks. The Tieflings, the local thieves around here. They forced me to join their gang, but I didn't want to. Just don't hand me over to the best, valiant crusaders. Please, in the name of all the gods that there ever were. Gort here is a new addition to the Tieflings. So far he's swiped around 5,000 gold. He's got a long way to go before he catches up with me, mind. They made me do it! An underground passage to Grey Garrison, tell me more. Right, so the temple round here, the Temple of Baphomet, has a cellar, and a passage leads from it right to the Grey Garrison. The Tieflings, my pals, damned a lot of them, have been using this passage on and off to sell all sorts of stuff to the soldiers in the Grey Garrison. So when the demons burst into the city, we thought we'd check upon the Grey Garrison to see how the soldiers were faring, to offer our assistance. Don't give me that look, this is the first time hearing this. Tieflings keep secrets from each other too, you know. Why are you afraid of me? You're one of them crusaders, ain't you? You all lot hate our guts. The Tieflings, I mean. You lock us up and do worse to us. The Tiefling gulps loudly. But I'm not a Tiefling, not really. Can I help you somehow? Let me go, please. I'll let you go, but you can pay me first. I'll give you everything I've got. Just don't kill me. The Tiefling hurriedly turns out his pockets. Oh, we've got some gold. Alright, ta-da. Cheers for letting me go like this. I'll remember you in 100 years, I will. I'll name my firstborn after you. Under your stare, the Tiefling falls silent and then runs off.
Save the last one for me.
Yeah. Now we can fix this.
I must rest to fight another day.
You mustn't. We're a bit tired, but we're not ready to rest yet. Got 2475.
What's in wait for me
Get to level 4. Next step, Blackwing Library. Let's... Someone on the road.
Wearing a
Reading a
robe?
book in the middle of a burning city.
Baphomet symbol around the neck? Check. Crazy eyes? Check. Note to self. Bring a mirror next time to be able to adjust the optimal level of eye craziness. Everything is ready for the experiment.
Oh, this is one's crazy, aren't ya?
An audience. Problematic, but not critical. You there, boy. Stay out of this. It is counterproductive to stand in the way of scientific progress.
Who are you calling boy?
Who's that? I don't know her.
Greetings, boys and girls. I am your sister in sin, a devotee of Lord Baphomet's dark will, and so on and so forth.
She looks like one of us, but she talks kinda weird.
She talks bloody
Who's
crazy.
there with you?
Who? Oh, them. Just an audience. They don't matter. Consider them a supplementary component of the coming experiment. In the name of our Lord Baphomet, please be so kind as to undertake a little test of your competency in our wicked cause. Let's start with something simple. So here's my first question. What is Lord Baphomet's favorite weapon?
We will not answer to you.
Our lord can wield any kind of weapon. He is all-powerful.
Wrong. He wields no weapons at all. He doesn't need any. He just gores his enemies with his horns.
It says a goal, a glaive made out of red adamantine.
That is correct. But still, boy, no prompting, please. This experiment has taken quite a surprising turn.
Yes,
I
he
would
call
never
him
have
boy.
expected the followers of the great Baphomet to be baffled by such a simple question. Fine. Let's recalibrate the difficulty and proceed with the next question. Please name Lord Baphomet's sacred animal.
A bull. Of course, everybody knows that.
Yep, and a cow.
Alright,
None
we'll
of your
prompt them.
answers were correct. The correct answer is an aurochs. It appears the experiment has yielded results which are as unexpected as they are incredible. Baphomet's cultists have not the slightest idea about who Baphomet really is, let alone any in-depth knowledge of his ideology or philosophy. I'm positive that this news will cause a sensation in widest scientific circles.
Damn it! She's right. I'm a shitty excuse for a cultist. And my mother used to tell me to become a plowman.
Hey, take it easy. We've only had 2 questions. You there, come on, ask another one. We'll get the next one.
Hey, you do what you want to
Is
do.
there any sense in continuing? You cannot answer the simplest of questions. I am ashamed of all of you, as cultists and as individuals.
Please, ask again. I can answer. I'm sure I can.
How do you spell Baphomet's name?
B-A-F...
We got the brains of the class here.
Oh, screw it.
Huh.
To hell with Baphomet. I thought it was gonna be fun, but instead there are all these questions. I'm done here. I'm going back to my home village, back to my mother.
Hey, wait! You there! How dare you stir up discord in our ranks? Grab her and tie her up, and her entire entourage too!
You really don't want to
The
do that, you know.
experiment is complete. Unable to deal with the questions, the cultists decide to deal with the examiner instead. A typical reaction for a person who has never been burdened with any intelligence. Now you're gonna start hitting each other, aren't you? Please, proceed. I won't interrupt.
The heartbeat quickens.
Burn! Slice! Behead!
Cover me, all right?
Into the fray!
Oh.
All I see is blackness. I wonder what lies beyond.
I'll cut you wide open. Attack!
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Well, Jeff, will you bloody hit him?
No match for me.
The light take you!
The spirits demand your blood. Aim carefully.
Distract them from me.
I'll rip you apart!
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
You are today's sacrifice!
Forwards.
Ow.
Time to share your treasures.
They'll beg me to stop!
Into the fray.
Go for their hearts!
A solid plan.
Cover me, all right?
Try again.
No glory without risk.
I'll cut you wide open!
Attack.
I'll just sit here.
Well, she's down.
Me.
Stab you or zap you. Why not both?
He's down.
No match for me.
There we are. Bit painful, but we got there. The absence of an answer is an answer too.
The result is statistically predictable, especially considering their intelligence level. What about you, boy? Are you ready to answer some questions for the good of science? Let's proceed with the experiment. My first question is simple. Which colors does the goddess Iomade prefer?
Absolutely convinced the correct answer is red and white.
This answer is correct. It is comforting to meet at least one educated person in the melting pot of ignorance that is Kenabres today. Let's proceed. Did Aradin take part in any crusade before he died?
You know for sure that Aradin died not long before the world wound opened. No, well he didn't then, did he?
Your answer is correct. Aradin's death dates to 4606, and that is precisely the year when the world wound was opened. The first crusade started back in 4622. Your knowledge would make Mendev's crusaders proud. My final question is, what is the title that Aurilu Vorlesh bears? Is she the architect of the world wound, the lord of the labyrinth, or the border acquisitor of the shapeless abyss?
And she's the architect of the world wound. What's this all about?
I am the one asking questions here. Answer them, and then I'll satisfy your curiosity.
You're an insulting book, and I'm not going to answer your questions.
Well, that's your right. The experiment has come to a standstill due to the subject's refusal to cooperate.
I'm not your subject.
It seems to me that I owe you an explanation.
Yeah.
My name is Nenio. I am an explorer, a pilgrim, a yet-to-be-recognized scientific luminary, future author of the great Encyclopedia Galarianica, and rector of all Absalom's universities at once. Future rector, I should say. I also know several spells.
You're also full of yourself. Now can you tell me what you're getting at with all those damn questions?
It is so heartening to see you strive for knowledge.
Oh, shut
I
up.
have been conducting an experiment comparing the intellectual abilities of the average cultist with those of the average crusader. Unfortunately, the experiment has proven that the opposing parties possess approximately equal faculties in this regard. A shame, indeed, for I have always claimed that despite the popular beliefs about the limited intellectual abilities of those in the army, at least some of them can be considered educated. It appears I was mistaken.
I have to go.
Boy, hold on. I have a business proposition for you. I would like to hire you as my follower for future expeditions to the World Wound. Your duties will include helping me with experiments, running errands, and probably writing down my quotes for the edification of future generations. Truth be told, I have no money to pay you. But you will be aiding the progress of science, and that is its own reward.
You know, I should probably go.
So my offer doesn't interest you? Too bad. You are the
Oh yeah, I realised I don't want that on you. I want it on you. Because I need your charisma up for what you're doing. Where are we? Oh, of course.
This way.
And cultists, eh? More enemies.
Can we retreat already?
I must rest to fight another day.
Wherever my legs carry me.
Still 2,221. And I forgot to get the hand cultist, didn't I? Lost bag here, let's do that first. Who's over here? A stocky knight with a head of messy black hair stands before you. His armour is spattered with blood. He greets you with a deep booming voice. Ah, Crusaders, excellent. I am Captain Cheleb Tazamel, and these are my men. I am about to burn these vile backstabbers and heretics here. These pathetic imitators of the traitor Arilu, who tricked their way into the ranks of the Crusaders. I'm a bit sceptical about this, Cheleb. The knight nods at a heap of severely beaten people and a strange elf whose appearance seems jarring for some unknown reason. It is a blind elf. Yeah, you're not burning him. Tazamel bellows threats at his prisoners, who seem to be in a state of deep shock and utter terror. The knight's left eye is twitching suspiciously. It's either a nervous tick or he's winking at you. What could that even mean? A strange feeling rises up within you. It's pure instinct. Don't know what you're about to do, but you are certain it's right. Take a close look at the ruthless Crusader. The Crusader's nostrils flare and fury sparks in his eyes. Truly looks angry and spoiling for a fight. Examine the armour. You notice that the emblems on the armour of the two silent Crusaders belong to the Order of Flaming Lance, but Cheleb's order bears the sigil of the Order of the Sunrise Sword. Strange then he introduced himself as their captain. Yeah, that wouldn't be right, would it? Something's not right here. Let's have some fun with them, because they're trying to trick us. Idiot, stop! Heed my command in the name of Baphomet! The words fly out of your mouth before you can even think them. Some gut instinct told you that this is precisely what needs to be said in this moment. And the words hit their target. The Crusaders jump in surprise and look at each other in terror. Woljif glares menacingly at Cheleb. Didn't you know, mortal? We're everywhere. Cheleb blinks to attention, backs out. Sorry, couldn't have known. We'll fix it right away, sir. An inexplicable feeling of rightness flows through you. You enjoy seeing the look of wolfish terror on the face of the Crusader and his lackeys when you rebuke them for their fecklessness. Listen to your gut. Stop wasting valuable fuel. If you like burning books, Goring's a great garrison library. Our enemies might try and sneak in there. Step to it. Plenty more where that came from, sir. I'll do everything you've ordered, and just as soon as these crusaders arrive, they'll be dead meat. I'll go make sure that we've got that we get make it another 2 barrels of alchemist's fire from the Grey Garrison storeroom. Things are gonna burn right up in there. There you go. That solves that little problem. We'll get to them in a minute. I want to see what's hanging around here. The Library of Kenabres has been ravaged and wrecked in the most barbaric way. I think that someone took perverse pleasure in smashing up furniture, etc.
Forwards! No, backwards. Backwards!
Oh,
I see something over
I saw
there.
door. Alright.
Impossible.
This is a statue of a lean man. Oh, we failed, so it doesn't really tell us anything anyway. Got bits and bats of things. Nothing too special, I don't think. Right.
Something here. What's that?
The bookcase is full of texts describing demons, methods, etc. Alright, no, Arcane Knowledge 24.
I failed.
And almost back. Okay, well, never mind then. And we got to free these guys. There we go. There's Armade, we're safe. You came just in time. A blind elf stands before you. He looks extremely strange. His face wears its years heavily, which is unusual for members of his race. Thinning grey hair, ragged beard, sightless milky eyes, pale papery skin, covered in age spots, a spine curved by the passage of time. This is not how elves typically age. The youth that graces the faces of the elves, even on their deathbed, has totally abandoned this decrepit specimen. That is an elf. A beard. I guess the worst can be found even among the best. Hey, I got a beard too. The old elf holds out his hand in your direction, in the perennial gesture of the blind, greeting you with an unexpectedly strong and calm voice. Hello, I am Storyteller, and I wish to thank my rescuers. That is you, if I'm not mistaken. Storyteller? That's the first I've ever heard of a venerable old-timer like that having a street name. Who are you? The old elf frowns. I prefer people to call me Storyteller. It very accurately describes the sphere of my occupations and interests. In most of the places I have been, I am known by that name. I want to talk about something else. The old elf responds with dignity and courtesy, but firmly. In thanks for my rescue, I, of course, will render you a service in return, whatever it may be. However, at this moment I wish to be somewhere safer than the present surroundings. My recent adventures have fatigued me greatly. I would be grateful if you could help me to find a safe shelter of some kind. The stubborn set of the elf's mouth tells you that he won't change his mind. Typical, you do someone a good turn and instead of saying thank you, enough, Woljif, you're being a brat. Go easy on the old elf, he's had a rough go of it. Yeah, because we've had it so easy. We can't not help him. If it was up to me, Grandfather Elf, I'd throw you over my shoulder and carry you. About that. I want to talk to these guys first. In that case, I will remain here for now. Wandering the city while it's under attack by demons would be inadvisable for a blind person. Don't forget to take me with you when you're going to a safe place. there he is, the leader. The young man with aristocratic features wipes the sweat from his brow and gives you a courteous bow. Allow me to introduce myself. Brother Claim, at your service. Thank you for helping us. We thought we were doomed to perish. Who are you? We are Crusaders of the Order of the Flaming Lance. Our order dedicates itself to the pursuit of hidden knowledge and magical methods of fighting the demons. We are searching for our leader, Sister Myanmar, scholar. She spent the last few weeks here, working day and night on some important research. When the demons attacked the city, we were here to find her, but it seems she left the city shortly before the attack began. Yet another order that couldn't even protect its own. The more I see of Crusaders, the more I'm disappointed. Myanmar just left the city, leaving no word where she could be found. None. She left in a hurry without leaving any notes or orders. Why? I have no idea. The only thing that may serve as a clue is this book. The one she was studying. The night holds out a letter bound home to you. My company of worn-out words, songs for Crusader. Myanmar's note mentions something about a stone book belonging to the Druids of Old Sarkoris. What does that mean? Stone books. The Druids of Old Sarkoris used sacred trees as books. They carved their secret knowledge onto the bark. When the demons came, the Druids resorted to a dark ritual that turned the trees to stone, and the Druids themselves into undead, doomed to guard their stone library grow forever. But that happened far from here, in the Stone Wilds. Is it possible that's where Myanmar went? Or maybe she found one of those trees somewhere nearby, I don't know. How did you end up in this trap? That traitor met us at the door. He seemed faithful and passionate Crusader, and we didn't suspect a thing until they attacked us from behind and knocked us out. We didn't expect such trickery. Most of our order brethren are dead, and we were desperate to believe that this man in armour was a fellow Crusader, a comrade. Yeah, well, you were a fool, weren't you? While we were unconscious, they removed our armour and tossed us on a pyre of books. What macabre blasphemy. Ain't it always the way? You start thinking you might be able to trust a fella, and boom, he goes and stabs you in. Woljif? You've got room to talk. But if you never trust anyone, then you'll soon become a killer, just like Holrun. That's hardly better, is it? Ah, don't start on that now. Fine, you convinced me you can trust people. But only one. Who is the elf with you? Is he a Crusader as well? No, we've talked to him, that's fine. Go to the Defender's Heart. Those who are ready to fight back are gathering there. The city still fights. Why, that's incredible news. We will go to our sanctuary guarded by our order's brothers and sisters. We'll bring them to Defender's Heart. Yeah, we've got some allies now. Now let's get him to the Defender's Heart. I don't think any of us are going to use that. Let's get all them. Let's go by name. Get them. No, purif. Oh yeah, that is. That'll do. Just have a quick word with the storyteller. The blind elf looks better than he did in your last encounter. His clothes are clean and his pale face has some colour. The elf turns to you and listens closely. Is that you, my saviour? I recognise your footsteps. Determined footsteps befitting a determined person. Allow me to thank you again for saving me. Please accept this humble gift as a token of my appreciation. The elf hands you a small black ring with 2 scarlet runes on it. Kenabres has explained why you were looking for me. I warned the authorities of Kenabres that the local wardstone has been desecrated. They waved off my warning and paid for their inaction. I have examined many wardstones, but only in the one guarding Kenabres did I sense a flaw, a spot of corruption inside, a vulnerability the demons will surely use. They are able to spread the blight inside the wardstone, corrupt it, and make it their weapon. It frightens me to think what it will be capable of. The wardstone must be destroyed. That sounds good. Who are you, and why did they let you examine the wardstone? The elf smiles faintly. I am the storyteller, just an old elf and a bit more. I'm old for even an elf. I've seen many things and been to many places. Not so long ago, I witnessed the making of a young kingdom in the Stolen Lands, led by a remarkable and promising individual, with Yorkie LaFay. My advice on the complicated matter of conquering these lands proved useful to that leader. Aye, it did. This is not uncommon for me. Some seek my advice or services and I don't refuse. This is how I acquired my reputation as an old vagrant who's never hurt anyone, stayed out of other squabbles, but sometimes gave good advice. I had a few friends in Erosian who vouched for my integrity. That is why my humble request to be allowed to see the wardstone was granted. I visited them all, but only found cause for alarm in Kenabres. Do you wield some magical power, some instinct? Storyteller chuckles. Yes, to a certain extent, but it's more of a gift. I can see the past, stories that have happened. I touch an object and shreds of its owner's memories are revealed to my mind. Their emotions, passions and tragedies. I see visions like I am them, and their stories happen to me. This is my power. I've been roaming the world gathering such stories for thousands of years. One day I will gather them all. What blight is concealed in the wardstone? I'm afraid I don't have an answer to your question. To understand the nature of the blight, we need to understand how the wardstone was created, and it is hidden from me, I can only guess. Have you heard of the Red Morning Massacre? A dreadful morning remembered with fear even by those not yet born at the time. A demoness called Minago invaded the city with a crowd of her followers, and started to do what demons do best, kill and desecrate. They say they cover the wardstone with pieces of dead bodies, splash it with blood from top to bottom. Could such an abomination darken the radiance of the gift of Hermide herself? Locals think it's impossible, but who knows? It was not the last attack. Many demon leaders brought their unholy forces here. Even the terrifying Baelor Karamzadeh. Their attacks were rebuffed, but they still reached their target. I think this is when the seed of corruption was planted in the stone. It wouldn't have grown on its own, but Discari himself has now come to take advantage of his weakness, to open the abscess that has been festering for years, unnoticed by the people of Kenabres. And when the Demon Lord struck the blow, the weakened stone gave in. Now it's in demon hands, and nothing is stopping them from spreading the blight throughout the entire stone, and from it to other stones along the whole perimeter of the world wound. Why did you travel to the wardstones? I tried to see their stories. The visions I had when I touched the wardstones were unclear. I saw hundreds, maybe thousands of different stories at the same time. They followed each other like flashes of lightning. It was impossible to separate them. I couldn't understand where one of them ended and the next began. I've heard you, storyteller. In that case, you must make every effort possible to destroy the corruption. Unfortunately, I don't know where to get an instrument powerful enough to banish it from the wardstone. As far as I know, there is nothing like it in Kenabres. But the demons might have something. I heard the dying roar of Terendlev, the silver dragon, the protector of the city. At the same time, I felt a wave of unfamiliar power sweep over me from head to toe. I would advise you to go to wherever Terendlev perished. Market Square, okay. And search there for something. Sorry, I can't be more specific, but intuition has a strange sense of rightness, telling me to point you there. That's empty. Clear this one, but we know why. Seen all that, I've heard you. Can I help you? I appreciate your offer. I have reason to believe that somewhere in Kenabres There is a manuscript authored by an elf from Keonin, witness Dothfall. The storyteller's voice suddenly breaks and he stops for a moment. For personal reasons, I would like to examine it, but no matter how hard I try, I've failed to find it. Even in the Blackwing Library, I only found mention that the manuscript exists and is held somewhere in the city. I assume it's stored in the Grey Garrison. They wouldn't let me into the archive when I visited. All the Crusaders were nervous about the strange blind elf and their secrets. It's understandable. The Crusade naturally made them a little paranoid. But now the Grey Garrison has fallen into enemy hands. I'd be grateful if I could see the manuscript. I don't need to know any more there, because we already know. More about you? The old elf permits himself a faint smile. I'm not surprised. A strange, peculiar-looking elf with unusual powers who comes from afar and called himself a collector of stories. Such things usually spark some interest. I will answer your questions. Who are you and where are you from? Before I would have said that I'm a blacksmith from Keonin who lost his sight then found his true calling in a new craft, that of a storyteller. But I have lately begun to suspect that these words are no more than a lie. The old elf chuckles sadly. It's quite the irony. I never thought I'd have cause to complain about my memory. It holds a story to the entire world, but I've noticed more and more alarming signs recently. I encounter ancient stories and see myself in them. I don't remember those events, but stories cannot lie. So it means that my memory is lying. And I intend to get to the bottom of it. I'm looking for proof that my visions are true, and for the reason why my past has been hidden from me. Look, ancient, I thought elves didn't get old. The blind man straightens his bony back with dignity. As you can see, we dwarf managed to live for many thousands of years. There may not be a single mortal in the world older than me. The storyteller sighs and continues with a sad smile. Anyway, it's not just about time. It's about the stories I keep inside. There is so much suffering and sadness in the world, and in my stories too. I've lived every one of them. I've drunk this bitter experience and accepted it in my heart. It's hard. The weight of all this suffering on my shoulders, but I wouldn't trade my burden for any other. Where did you get your strange powers? The storyteller shrugs. I've always got along well with things. I used to be a blacksmith, that I know for sure. I've always felt the essence of things, the spirit. For as long as I can remember, I've always been able to feel the traces of memories and feelings left on things by their former owners. I don't know where this gift come from. Maybe having taken my sight, God granted me another sense. Why did you come to the world? Well, we know why. How do you collect stories? The same way the court philanderer collects his conquests. Where a healer has a personal cemetery of patients he failed to save. The way that every person, including you, has a box of secret, most precious experiences deep down in their soul that no one is allowed to touch. The world is not made of things or even matter, it's made of stories. They move from the past to the future, piercing the world at the point of here and now. They give meaning to everything. They are the meaning, and everything else is only the setting required for stories to exist. There is nothing more real and alive than a story, and anything real and alive can die and be destroyed, distorted, forgotten. But as long as I carry these stories with me, they will not be lost. Yeah, but what if you die? This is why I don't often share my stories. By sharing one with you, I give you the right to sell it to others, to distort and embellish it inadvertently or advertently. How can I be sure you will keep its original purity? Stories travel from one person to another. They change, become distorted, turn into tall tales. This is why I keep myself and my stories to myself. Like I said, what if you die? Who carries them then? No more questions. I have to go. Let me just check something. I just need to check a quick something here. All right. Off we go, I think.
Trail me.
We're looking for something in the market square. That'll destroy a ward's done. 1173. Getting closer. More enemies.
You'll make a fine trophy.
Less enemies. Right, Market Square. Time to do some shopping.
Watch each other.
The inheritors, guide my blade!
Kill is for you!
There we are.
I must rest to fight another day.
We are the light, they are the darkness.
The fatigue befalls even the best.
Oh, you can get promoted. Actually, I want a bulwark. Sounds like something she'd call it.
Where do you want me?
What's up here? The demon invasion transformed all of Kenabres into one great battlefield, but nowhere in the city suffered as much as this square. This place saw a clash of titans. The demon lord Descari leading his horde from the abyss, and the dragon Terendelev, the mightiest of the city's defenders and one of the first to fall. The scene of destruction leaves no doubt as to the battle's outcome, A skilled scout could recreate the course of the battle moment by moment simply by looking at the ruins. From the chimneys torn down by the powerful winged in a sharp dive, to the bloody tracks left behind when the demon dragged away the noble reptile's broken body. But it is no hypothetical scout gazing upon these ruins. It is Yorkie, and he is not alone. The shadow of a strange, barely perceptible presence lingers over this place, like a gaze untethered from any observer. This mysterious force, unknown to mortal kind, silently assesses, judges, and seeks a better way in. In an instant, Yorkie is vested with this power, and looks at the world with its eyes. The past, present, and future stand before him as a unified whole. An unmoving, multifaceted crystal that would be beautiful were it not for the fractures, blemishes, and flecks marring its splendour. What past does he see? In the past exists the one who wielded the gaze in life, although the one and life are in opposite terms for eons. The supernatural embodiment of cosmic balance. Rather than who or what, a better word for these entities is how. The Eon appeared from outside this world, from the great beyond. To put an end to the intermingling of the planes and destroy the world wound. The chasm disrupting the order from the multiverse. Alas, the visitor from beyond proved too weak for the battle they had to fight. They even failed to finish casting the spell that would have sent the Scary back to the abyss. With one swing of his side, the Demon Lord cut down the Eon. What present does he see? Ruins, blood, corpses, none of this perturbs the Eon's dispassionate gaze. The living are alive, the dead will be judged by pharasma, all is as it should be. But the demons circling in the sky or prowling through the streets create a jarring juxtaposition, like splashes of blood-red ink on a restrained pencil sketch. They should not be here. The world of mortals is for mortals, so demons' place is in the demons' world. How sublime the world would be if everything in it knew its place. But even the demons aren't as abhorrent as the sharp-edged, unassuming crystal languishing in the dirt among the bricks and unsmashed cobblestones. No mortal would notice it, but to the Eon's eyes, its mere existence is an outrage against universal laws. If the Eon still existed, they would not stop until the crystal was unmade. But the Eon is gone, and only their gaze remains. Yorkie picks the crystal up out of the dirt and throws it in his pocket. He is mortal, which means he has the power to decide what to do with it. What future does he see? We got the purple stone knife. Good and evil, chaos and order, everything is in its lawful place in the multiverse, and is no longer trespassing where it does not belong. Nothing is disrupting the smooth and steady current of the river of souls, from life into death, and back again. The reality, rid of its flaws, is now perfect, and the eons withdraw to eternally admire its beauty, which will never again be threatened. After allowing the hero to view the world through their eyes, the little that remained of the Eon is killed, even an appropriate word for an entity that is so removed from life and death as we understand them, used up its last vestige of energy. Now they are ready to disperse into nothingness, unless someone decides to preserve the Eon within themselves. Will the hero take on this power so that he may again look upon the world through another's eyes? Let's retain the power for now. You never know, we might find it useful. The spirit of the Eon dwells out of sight deep in Yorkie's soul, like a pair of magical spectacles stored away until the moment when the hero once again needs to look at the world through another's eyes. So we got the stone knife, which we need to show to the storyteller when we get back there.
This way.
Let me draw the first blood.
May I see your entrails, please?
What are you doing, Yorkie? What are you doing, Yorkie? Are you getting close? Okay. Try and put one down.
The spirits demand your
No,
blood.
I didn't say that. I said put one down. Oh, you bloody hell, this is not good. Oh, Woljif's not looking too good either.
The light, take you!
Aim carefully.
Let the attack commence.
Swan down.
Distract them for me.
No glory without risk!
Forwards.
Die, die, die!
Oh, he could aim at me there. Didn't realise we were that close.
Time to share your treasures.
Well, I skipped that by accident.
A solid plan.
Huh? Burn! Slice! Behead! Yes, behead.
You are today's sacrifice.
I'll rip you apart!
Cover me, all right?
Into the fray!
Attack.
It's another down.
May I see your entrails, please?
Go for their hearts.
They'll beg me to stop. No match for me.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Aim carefully.
Ow.
Let the attack commence.
I think with this bit we can just go for him now.
I'm here. Where else would I be?
Right, you got some healing stuff, so you don't have them. Okay.
Magritium Turinos. Magritium Turinos.
Let's see what's up here, shall we? Oh, it's one of these weirdos again. They aren't even talking to us now. Watch it, what are you going to win? You'll bloody crush me. A young tiefling lies trapped in the collapsed section of the tunnel. Another 2 tieflings scrambling around, trying in vain to free him from the rubble. Quit whining, hey, alarm, someone's coming. Maybe he'll help us? Wise up, will you? Before you get us killed. Let's make a run for it while we still can. No, come on, don't leave me here, I'll die here. Like a crushed louse, when do I crinkle the nose? Let us leave this place, master. This pathetic creature's not even worth spitting on. Hey guys, I see you're in a bit of a jam. Get a load of this lot and no escort either. Woljif, you little shit. How are you doing? How are you not dead yet? Who's that with you? They're friends of mine, great guys. Woljif turns to you and, out of the corner of his mouth, says, listen, do me a solid. Help them drag this sorry carcass free. They'll repay you, cross my heart. I don't trust you, but we'll do it anyway. Clearing the rubble proved a bigger challenge than expected. By the time you finally freed the trapped tiefling, you had it collapsed with fatigue. Formed good action. Phew, I'm still alive and all in one piece, give or take. Thank you, I'll remember your kindness for the rest of my life. The freed tiefling turned to his companions. And you 2 clowns, I don't want to hear a word out of you. Get into that tunnel now, one trip just to the Great Garrison and back. Don't be a coward, it's not going to collapse. Or else we came all this way for nothing. That ended well, didn't it? Not now, talk later. The tiefling eyes you and elbows his chatty companion in the ribs, causing him to double over in pain. Sounds very suspicious. Come on, come clean. Who are you? Alright, just don't hurt us. People call us the tieflings. We kind of skirt around the edges of the law. That's fine with me. That's how we make our living. Say some tyrant bans books that showed stuff he don't like. Or fancy Keonin wine he don't drink. Is it wrong if we step in to fill the gap in the market? Not really, no. If there's a demand for it, someone's got to sell it. Don't go thinking we're gangsters or anything. Our only concern is making the lives of citizens easier for a little coin. You're traders, basically, in illegal goods. People in the city can't even breathe without breaking some stupid regulation or restriction. Take this tunnel that collapsed on top of our friend, for instance. It leads straight to the Great Garrison. Thanks to it, any soldier whose throat's feeling a little dry or who's in need of some nighttime reading material, we can get all that for him, but his heartless superiors refuse to. We're providing public service. I helped you, now you can help me, and Commander Turibade to save Kenabres. The militia needs people with various skills, even ones as unusual as yours. You what? Are you blind or something? The tiefling points at his horns and his tail. Know what people call us? Arilu's spawn, and that's one of the nicer nicknames. Crusaders and tieflings don't mix. We'll be torched on sight. Whoa, Turibade, Erebus Turibade from the Eagle Watch. Lads, we have to help her. He's one of the only big shots in town who actually treat us with any decency. Should we raise our necks for the Crusaders? Because Erebus risked her neck for hours. He saved me from that creep Hull run. Yanked me straight out of his torture chamber. Only a worthless Torag would have refused to help her out after that. I'm not listening to any more of this. The tiefling makes a show of covering his ears. You do what you want, I'm heading to the River Kingdoms. Go on then, I'm going with the Crusaders. And I'm going to round up the others to help the tieflings, mercs. We've made some good money in this city, it'd be a shame to surrender our meal ticket to the demons. But enough yammering, so long. Right, we got more friends. And we are completely exhausted. Okay, if we're that tired, I think it's going to be time to go home. To talk to the guy. I'm tired and overwhelmed with weight. What the hell am I carrying? get rid of that. I don't really need it.
We will win this war.
Forwards? No, backwards.
254 left.
Might be trap, might be treasure.
Judging by the size of the bloodstain, the body of something truly enormous was dragged.
Trail me.
Okay. Thank the gods I found someone who isn't fleeing in panic. Are you crusaders, mercenaries? The comely half-elf is so frightened he can barely get the words out. I'm a servant of Count Darren Cale Nevis Arenday. My lord's mansion is under attack by demons. The master himself and all his guests are trapped inside, and the house guards are nowhere to be found. I managed to escape through his servant's passage to look for help. Will you help me? The mansion is only a stone's throw away on the next street over. Meet she gazed with pleading eyes. Count Arenday. I have seen him a few times before from afar. He looked highly audacious. I confess that he did capture my attention. But that's neither here nor there. We should help him. The gratitude of a rich and influential man can only benefit us. You heard about the Arenday family before. This wealthy and noble Mendevian dynasty was almost wiped clean by the demons more than 10 years ago. What was the role needed anyway? Level 10 difficulty class. The last surviving member of the family, the young Count Darren, had an infamous reputation. He is well known for being a rake and a rogue. Misfortune continues to doghouse Darren, I see. The servant cringes. You're telling me? Everyone tried to talk me out of taking up the position, saying that it can't have just been bad luck that brought tragedy down on the family and almost killed off the line. But I reasoned that since my master was the only one to survive that calamity, that meant he must be blessed by fate. Or he had something to do with it, or it was done by someone who was watching over him, or anything like that. You're an idiot. The pay was nothing to sniff at either. The servant cast his eyes around the street. I should have listened to people smarter than me and gone to work somewhere else, preferably far away from Kenabres. Tell me more about what happened. I'll tell you what I can. I was working from dawn till dusk and back to dusk again, serving guests at the Count's banquet. When the other servants came to relieve me at my post, I went to sleep. Next thing I know, I woke up, and there are demons inside the mansion. I couldn't even reach the Count. The monster had blocked the way. The Count's banquet was still going on. He and his guests were in the great hall. As far as I could tell, the door to the room was sealed, and the demons couldn't get in. I'm begging you, hurry. The mansion's doors are sturdily built. Demons will have to work hard to get past them, but you still have time to rescue the people inside. What will I get if I help this Count of yours? Demanding a reward for fighting demons? This is dishonourable. And foolish too, since demons are the enemy of each and every one of us. Today we selflessly help someone thrash the demons, and tomorrow someone else will help us. I'm sure the Count will reward you handsomely for any rescue. Alright, I'll help. Where's your master's house? And it's been drawn on the map. So once we've rested, we can think about going there. I'm not going to do it before we've rested though, because we're bloody knackered. So we need to head back to the Defender's Heart. Then we can talk to, who is it, and have a rest. Failed to sneak past enemies. Let's hope we don't get massacred by them when we're so tired. says sure. It's too sure.
I wonder what lies beyond.
Learn from your mistake.
So this is how it feels.
We got one down.
It's all your fault.
Bloody hell.
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
This will leave a bruise.
Oh, come on. Got it at last. She's no longer exhausted. She's no longer exhausted. Go figure. She's at death's door, but she's no longer exhausted. We're already exhausted, we know that. So 91 for level 4.
What's in wait for me there, I wonder?
Right. The blind elf whispers something under his breath. Hearing your steps, he turns to you slowly. Greetings, Yorkie. Have you brought me a new story? I found it in the square where Torrental had perished. What do you make of it? The storyteller reaches out and softly says, even from here I can feel strange energies emanating from this object. If you don't mind, I will examine it using my method. I will try to see the past of its owner, their emotions and threads of memories. Maybe it'll help us understand what we're dealing with. The storyteller touches a knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grip. His face contorts into an evil grimace, his voice disgustingly raspy. Hunger. My many legs bring me into the flare of my mother's feasting hall. A swollen body overfilled with food is so huge that I have to look at with it with all my eyes at once. On top is a scrawny little head, with a long beak that is always yearning for more food. You feel feverish, and your chest, where the mysterious wound is concealed, feels hot. Your mind is flooded with a wave of visions, visions that repeat the words of the old elf. Mother greets me with a placid screech. Stupid, greedy wretch, whose only achievement is my birth. A creeping, wingless creature. It's your fault I have no wings, a symbol of greatness, a birthright I should have received from my mighty father. Mother points me to a crowd of whimpering subjects, suggesting I fortify myself with their pathetic flesh. Not today. I summon my spawn and they fly to me, enveloping me in a teeming cloud. Like dark buzzing wings, they unfold behind my back and lift me up. Mother has always been stronger, but she did not expect this. I dive on her and rip her limp body with my claws. Ichor splatters the bone spurs on my heels, sink into her flesh. I clench her pitiful tiny head and tear it off, along with shreds of meat. Victory, I am the strongest. I am the son of my winged father. The elf grimaces with distaste. His voice becomes normal again. Appalling. Stories like that are the most difficult ones to keep with me. Did this knight begin to belong to a demon? The storyteller opened his mouth to answer, but a sudden spasm crosses his face. A new vision, a much stronger one, engulfs the old elf. The malevolent undertones vanish from his voice as it grows more determined and tired. Even looking towards stone is difficult. Despite the corruption nesting in it, it still has an aura of strength. Your fingers clench the stone hilt so tight it hurts. A little spot on the flawless surface of the wardstone draws your attention. It looks like a butterfly, corruption in the guise of something utterly harmless. But it will grow. You swing and stab the butterfly with a knife as hard as you can. Your fingers cramp painfully, a howl invades your ears. Light, white light everywhere. The stone knife falls from the old elf's hands. Out of breath he drops to his knees. He's trembling. The terror on his face so unlike his usual dignified manner. What was that? That was not the past. That was something that is yet to happen, or rather might happen. One of the roads to the future. In one of the possible futures, this item will help you cleanse a wardstone. Or destroy it. You feel a longing to take the stone chisel and plunge it into your chest. Right into the wound that has opened up in it. It's hard to resist this feeling, but at the last moment your self-preservation instinct takes over, and you manage to keep control of your own hands. The old man stands up, he looks completely stunned. Never before has anything like this happened to me. But how? I am not an oracle or a prophet. Or is this another riddle from the past that has caught up with me? I must find out. Seeing stories that have happened is one thing, but seeing stories that are yet to happen. I don't know why this is happening now, but there is one thing I'm sure of. This is not a coincidence. This is a sign of coming change. Great change. I shared your vision of this knife. It tempted me. Did you? See what I saw? This has never happened before. Could it be the magic of that object you brought me? I sense dark energies in it that can cloud and charm the mind. Be careful with this item. It may have tried to influence you, but you managed to overcome its power and subdue it. Or perhaps something else happened to us. Something we don't yet understand. Can you see the future? I don't know. Obviously I can, but nothing like this has ever happened before. The future never opened its secrets to me before I met you. Gods, who are you and why have our paths crossed? I feel this is not coincidence. Something momentous is happening. Destiny is pushing us towards something. But what? Questions without answers. I swear this morning I couldn't have imagined what awaited me. Maybe it's a knife that gives you the power of divination. This knife is a powerful artifact, but I feel its power is of a different nature. No, I felt the same as I do when I tell the past. This is my gift, but manifests in a completely abnormal way. It's what you saw destined to happen. No. The future is not set. It used to be a long time ago when God Oredan guarded Doloria, but not now. Prophecies do not come true, or they do, but not the way they were supposed to. I only saw one version of the future, one of the paths leading to it, but the choice has not yet been made, and our destinies are not set in stone. Who were you in your vision? I don't know. Someone strong and desperate enough to resort to extreme measures. I felt that what I was doing had to be done. Your powers are amazing. A few moments ago I would have agreed with you, but the thing that has just happened, it disturbs me. My gift has never manifested like this. Something has changed, and these changes frighten me. Please examine the items I'm carrying. Perhaps some of them could tell a story. The storyteller nods politely. Let me touch them and I'll tell you what I can see. The old elf carefully takes Yaniel's sword, Radiance. Powerful forces lie dormant in this sword. It used to belong to an incredibly bright and daring soul. The storyteller's hands run carefully over the scale that has still not lost its shine. Proud Torrential protector of Kenabres, you devoted your life to serving people. Your death is a great loss, but maybe I will be able to find out something about you that is unknown to your many admirers. The storyteller's hand touches Finian. What a peculiar weapon. I sense intelligence in it, but it seems dented. Ah, Grandpa Elf, watch where you're poking your fingers, it tickles. The elf looks at you with unusual impatience. Shall we? We've seen this one, haven't we? Yes. Yes, we've seen that one. What do you see of Radiance past? Storyteller touches a blade with his fingers. Sadness rings out in his voice. Resin is doomed. Demons attacked right when we had lost the protection of the Sword of Valor. My city, my bastion of hope. We built you as a symbol that the lands mutilated by the Abyss could still be restored to mortals. Now you are perishing. There is nothing I can do. We retreat. No, we flee. A frightened crowd rushes into the night through the southern gate. They are chased by the angry howls of demons, killing the last defenders of the citadel. My heart goes out to them. I am standing on the wall. I am recovering the retreat. Demons do not attack. They seethe around you, fall from the sky, strike from all sides at once. They can't be stopped, but they can be distracted. I run to the upper floor of the gate tower. Radiance glows with a golden light in my hands. I permit myself to close my eyes with just one heartbeat. I imagine that the soft glimmering of the sword I see through my closed eyelids is the light of the summer sun. I smile. I open my eyes and call out, "Hey, discarded spawn! Who wants the best trophy of the night? You know my name, Yaniel. You know how many of you I've killed with this very hand. You want to curry favour with Darazan, Minago, or the echo of your lord? Bring them my head if you can." Roaring and screaming, they rush towards me in a wave of deformed bodies and unfurled wings. The wave crashes against me, spattering my armour with their bloody froth. Broken wings and chopped up bodies plummet to the foot of the tower. In the heat of battle, I see Jordan's pale face down there. He looks up at me in desperation, but he can't help. He's carrying 2 wounded on his shoulders. My city will fall, but my friends will survive. That is what I'm fighting for. I'm covering the retreat. The flow of people gradually dwindled. My armour is broken in many places, and I cannot heal my wounds anymore. The last demon I stabbed with radiance suddenly recoils, tearing the handle out of my blood-streaked hand. He flies up and falls somewhere far behind the walls, by the road being taken by those fleeing. No more golden glow in my hands. The night closes in on me, filled with shrieking, mocking demon laughter. Dresden, I'm dying with you. Light of the sword, righteous Hermide, accept my soul. The storyteller runs his hand along the blade with a sad smile. I know whose memory this is. I've heard about her so many times. Yaniel was a true crusader. Touching her memories is so cleansing. You see the future of the sword, just one of the numerous possibilities. The blind elf touches the sword hilt, and metal rings in his voice. I slide out of the seas swiftly. I proudly watch the army of warriors led by my lord. I sing, slashing the air, putting courage in their hearts. I am Radiance. Tremble, city of Dresden. Lady Yaniel has perished, but I am not done yet. Charge! The storyteller returns the sword to you. It's nice to know that this sword's glory days are not over. It has many battles ahead. Take care of it. Glorious sword. Tell me about Terendelev. The storyteller takes a deep breath and smiles. I am flying. I can finally spread my wings. I am gliding over a broad river. The sunset has turned its surface smooth like a river, and I see my reflection. It is as if another silver dragon is rising to meet me from the desk, but what is it? The scales of my chest are black, and the darkness is spreading over my body. I wake up. A clear sky sways above me, blazing with heat. I am in human form. The red dust of the wound clings to my cracked lips. Someone is carrying me on a stretcher made of shields and spears. I am so weak I can barely lift my hand to my face. The sight of my own hand terrifies me. It is black and the skin glistens like scales melted by fire. I probably ought to cry, but I only feel hatred and nausea. All these people around me, out of sympathy for them, did I choose to leave the mountains. I gave up my flights over rivers. I went out to the demon's lair. They don't have a scratch on them, but I am infected with foulness. It is not fair. My life is more precious than their pathetic existence. Oh, how I hate them in this moment. And then I feel sudden shame. No, these are not my thoughts. The crusaders carrying me are my good friends. I am glad they did not suffer, but I hate them, and myself so much. Pain and hatred pierce me all at once. It's all because of them, all because of them. 1 second. Someone walking beside me touches me, talks to me. The only thing I hear is, "Your mentor, he will come, he will help." I lose consciousness. Such hatred from Terendelev, wasn't she on our side? Terendelev has come a long way. A unit was ambushed by demons once, and she was infected with foulness. The Terendelev you met in Kenabres has gone through many trials and regained a form of purity. Her unit was ambushed by demons once and she was infected with foulness. But okay, what happened next? Storyteller puts his hand to his forehead. Sometimes the past can be vague as the future. We all know how Tarentlev's story ended, but the beginning is hidden from us. Maybe you find something else that used to belong to her, we'll know more about the struggle. However, no matter what we learn, remember, her soul, the soul of a true dragon, overcame every obstacle, endured every torment. She was able to purify herself, for dragons are truly powerful, not only in body but in spirit too. We'll check upon Terendel Finian later. Unfortunately, I have a real life issue coming up, so we're going to end here. Join me next time